Welcome to episode 63 of the Loane Hockey Podcast, where today we're going to flip the switch a little bit and talk about Cole Hutson's brother, Lane. And Lane was drafted by the Montreal Canadiens back in 2022 in the tail end of the second round. And what's really interesting when you study Lane's game and when you look at his game in depth is the deception and the manipulation built within his puck skills and his feet. And when I watched his NHL highlights very briefly when he first started in the NHL, very late in the season after BU lost, ended up losing in the Frozen Four, and then he signed, got some NHL games at the tail end of the season. And I believe he's playing in Montreal's rookie tournament now as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he looks there. I believe that's within the next week or so, week and a half ish. And so with Lane Hutson, when I watched his first game, his first handful of games, what really stood out is that manipulation, deception at the point in the offensive zone, and being able to manipulate the line, being able to control pressure, being able to really understand how to be fluid within his movement, and really translating that well from BU to the Canadiens directly. And what really stood out also is his breakout patterning, his ability to use breakouts and ability to leverage breakouts, ability to quarterback breakouts, and be able to be a threat on breakout situations in order to provide a sense of support and camaraderie amongst the group and the five-man unit in that sense. And so with Lane Hutson, you're getting obviously a not necessarily dynamic right away NHL defenseman, but a defenseman who has the potential to be a dynamic defenseman in the league. And you already see that manipulation, that deception within his puck skill and feet. So that's a translatable component that he can really build upon and layer upon in his time in the NHL consistently. And I would imagine he gets a full season in with Montreal next year. I wouldn't be surprised to see him play at least a majority of the season with the Canadiens because his game is far too talented to play in the AHL, in my opinion. And when you look at the depth of his game, not only the manipulation, deception, but the all three zone ability, the ability to play two-way game, the ability to play in transition, ability to really provide a sense of structure for his whole team in terms of how he's able to move the puck, how he's able to be a support option, how he's able to defend. And he's not the biggest defenseman, but at the same time, he defends skating forwards. He has a lot of modern day attributes in his defensive ability. He likes to defend skating forwards. He likes to use angling. He likes to surf. He likes to use stick positioning rather than body on body contact and physical contact. So a lot of his defensive habits are based on angles and timing and being able to get the right read at the right moment. And especially on line rush against scenarios, both with BU and a little bit with Montreal, I noticed how he'd skate forwards and he would look to close the line off by using positioning and angling to cut the middle off and being able to force guys to stay on the perimeter of the ice. And Hutson showed a little bit of inconsistency there, but again, it's only a handful of games he's played in the NHL. You have to really see it for what it is once he gets a full season of NHL hockey and potentially playoff hockey. Because Montreal surely looks like they could be a playoff team this year. And with Hutson, what is really fascinating about his transition game is his ability to use mohawks and his ability to accelerate through the middle lane. And you saw that a lot with BU. He has a habit for finding space up the middle. He's so good at being able to use puck transporting ability, but at the same time, individual puck carrying to be able to carry pucks through the middle of the ice and attack through the middle of the ice. And he's an entry threat because of that, because he can attack middle, stay middle, and be able to find middle ice on entry. And that's a really unique element when it comes to his game and his patterning because of his ability to create options for himself, create optionality for himself because he's attacking the middle. He's not getting forced to the perimeter of the ice so easily within his puck skills. And what I really like about Hutson's game as well, there's a little bit more flair and offensive touch and a little bit more development than Cole right now. That's why I like talking about Lane as well, because Cole could very well be in a similar situation to 2.5 years down the line. But you're seeing a lot of what Lane is right now that could be Cole. And Cole Hutson's going to be a great defenseman as well, no doubt about it. But it's really intriguing to see where Lane's development is at right now and how Cole could fast track his similarly to Lane's. So with Lane, obviously 2 years and done with BU, and he played two really good seasons of hockey there, and he was tremendous. And he showed tremendous growth from that first year, that second year as well. Being able to lead the rush more, being able to be consistent in his offensive decisions, being able to drive offense all the time, and be an elite driver of pace, play, and puck skills and offensive touch. So he was a driver in all facets of offensive play. And another big thing when it comes to Lane Hutson's game is similar to Cole is power play ability to quarterback a power play, ability to run a power play, run breakouts, run transition sequences, carry the puck individually, do whatever it need to be able to allow the power play sequence to thrive and get better in those scenarios. And with Hutson, he is really dynamic on the power play. He's really dynamic in transition when attacking through neutral ice to be able to gain entry and gain speed on entry. And again, he likes to use those mohawks. He likes to use mohawks in terms of pivots, 10 and 2s, as they call them as well, to be able to escape pressure, get around pressure, and be able to maneuver defenders effectively. And he does a really good job of it, no doubt about it. And there's a lot of intrigue when it comes to his offensive play because another big thing that's key when it comes to his game is his ability to control space with his head up. And he showed a lot of that at the NHL level, being able to control space as well. And being able to control plays with his head up really allows him to be a constant driver of play because he's able to see the ice so much clearer and he's able to make decisions so much faster because he has a good read of where he's handling the puck. He has a good sense of coordination and synchronization between his body, his mind, and his puck skills. And then you look at the natural ability to be a playmaker, but also an individual puck carrier. And he's a guy that's almost rarely looks down when he has a puck in his stick, if not ever, because he's always looking up, he's always scanning, he's always looking to make decisions. He's always looking to make a first pass, an outlet pass, a breakout pass, whatever it may be. And Hutson does a really good job consistently of being able to be a driver of that, being an individual play driver within that realm. And again, I talked about Cole's small area playmaking skill a little bit yesterday. I would say it's a little bit better at the same age compared to Lane, but it's relatively close. Small area puck skills. Lane is built more inside of Mohawks and using his skating to utilize small area skill and small area handling skill. You can also incorporate a touch of body position, but it's more reliant on those Mohawks and skating elements to be able to maintain his cruising speed and at the same time being able to maintain momentum and power through his turns. So when he's accelerating through his turns, he's able to maintain that momentum when he has the puck on his stick. So that's really nuanced in the sense of how Lane's able to attack the game per se. And his overall development is going to be, again, really intriguing to see in Montreal. Does he play a top four role consistently right away, or does it take a little bit more time for him to work his way up? And Martin St. Louis is going to be a big fan of him without a doubt because he's a smaller defenseman. Marty St. Louis was a small player. They're going to gel well together. And it's not going to be an issue that Wayne Hutson is undersized because Martin St. Louis is going to have no problem with that. And he's going to relate to that a lot. So you have that element. So that could give Lane an extra boost to be able to potentially play more minutes in the preseason and then beyond that point. And even the rookie camp now, actually, like I said, I believe he's playing in that. If not, I could be wrong. But if he is indeed playing in it, then you get that prior development very briefly playing in the rookie showcase, and then you get preseason games, and then it's NHL. So a little bit more of a head start, but not necessarily too much. So Hutson's going to be a very intriguing player. I love watching him. He's so fascinating to watch, and he's going to be a very exciting player to watch in the near future as well.